There is something about today's sky that most Gemini forecasts are going to flatten into a single mood, when really there are three different stories fighting for your attention at once. One says slow down. One says speak up. One says look in the mirror and ask if the face looking back still fits. If you are a Gemini watching this on the 30th of July, you are about to find out which one is actually true for you today, and why the answer might be all three. Let us start with the sky itself, because everything else today flows from one enormous event that happened just yesterday. On July 29th, a full moon landed in Aquarius, and in Western tropical astrology, that moon fell directly into your ninth house, the house of learning, travel, belief, and the bigger picture. Full moons are culmination points. They do not plant new seeds, they ripen what has already been growing, often for the past 6 months. So if you have quietly been developing an idea, a pitch, a course, a trip you keep almost booking, this lunar peak is asking you to look at it honestly and see what is actually ready to move. That same Aquarius energy is also stirring something else entirely. Aquarius rules groups, technology, and how you are perceived publicly. And for Gemini specifically, this moon is shining a light on your reflection, quite literally, your public image, your online presence, the role you have been playing for other people. None of it feels quite settled right now. There is a restlessness under the surface, a sense that the old version of you, the old title, the old profile, does not fit the way it used to. That is not a crisis. That is an invitation. Layer on top of this a second, rarer event. The Sun and Jupiter are meeting up today in Leo, lighting your third house, the house of communication, ideas, and quick thinking. This alignment happens only once a year, and when it lands in your communication sector, words carry unusual weight. Whatever you say today, whether it is a pitch, a difficult conversation, or a simple request, tends to land with more persuasive power than usual. And then there is a slower, steadier layer underneath all of this. You are coming off a stretch shaped by Mercury retrograde, Gemini's own ruling planet, which means the last several weeks likely felt scattered, delayed, or unusually tiring. That fog is lifting now. The energy today leans toward recovery rather than another sprint. Take a breath here, because what happens next is where these threads actually start weaving together. You may have noticed that your patience for pretending has been shrinking lately, especially anywhere you feel boxed into an old label. That restlessness in your reflection is not random. It is the Aquarius full moon doing exactly what full moons do, forcing a moment of truth about what has outgrown its use fame. In love and partnership, this shows up as unusual intensity right now. This particular full moon has been described as complicated for couples, and it is, but not in a purely negative way. Some relationships are hitting friction points and breaking. Others are being rebuilt on steadier ground. Many more are simply starting, fresh and unexpected. If you are single, this window between now and next summer may bring more meaningful connection than you would expect from an ordinary season. If you are partnered, honest conversation lands better than avoidance today, especially with Mercury's fog finally clearing from your communication. Here is where career gets interesting, because this is where the Sun-Jupiter meetup really earns its reputation. If you have been sitting on a pitch, a proposal, or a request for feedback from someone whose opinion matters, today's energy suggests unusually persuasive timing. Not guaranteed success, but a noticeably better chance of being heard clearly and taken seriously. Many Gemini natives with this transit report an easier time putting bold ideas into words without the usual second guessing. If there is an expert or mentor you have hesitated to approach, today may be the day that hesitation costs you more than the ask would. That same expansive energy naturally touches your finances too, though here the sky asks for a bit more restraint. Growth opportunities may be visible on the horizon. but big financial commitments benefit from patience rather than impulse right now. The ninth house energy from the full moon favors expanding your knowledge, maybe researching an investment or a new income stream, over signing anything permanent today. Now here is what makes today genuinely rare for Gemini specifically. You have your ruling planet Mercury just finishing a retrograde cycle, your identity sector lit by a full moon insisting on change, and your communication house activated by a once-a-year Jupiter blessing, all in the same week. That is an unusually loud cosmic message for a sign already known for words and ideas. What it means practically is this: the version of you that existed 6 months ago is not obligated to keep showing up. You are allowed to update the profile, literally or figuratively, without needing anyone's permission first. Most people scrolling through today's forecast will miss that this is a rare identity and voice reset, not just another busy Thursday. With that in mind, health and energy management deserve real attention, because ambition without rest backfires fast right now. After weeks of retrograde fatigue, the instruction is not push harder, it is pace yourself. If something in your body or your schedule feels forced, it probably is forced, and forcing it tends to create more resistance than progress. This is a good week for gentle movement, proper sleep, and trusting that not every day needs to be a breakthrough day. Separately, in Vedic or sidereal astrology, today's moon placement in Capricorn is read differently, and some practitioners note it can bring minor frustrations or a sense that goals feel harder to reach than expected. If that resonates, the traditional guidance is simple and safe. Wearing gray is thought to support steadier confidence, and scheduling important conversations between 4 and 6:30 in the afternoon is considered a favorable window. Worth noting, some Vedic practitioners may also suggest Saturn-related remedies, such as specific gemstones or mantras, for individuals whose birth charts support them, but that kind of prescription genuinely requires personal chart analysis. It is not universal advice, and no one should adopt a gemstone recommendation without a proper reading. At home and socially, this same restless, updating energy tends to show up as needing more space than usual, or noticing old family roles that no longer fit the way they once did. That is not disconnection, it is recalibration, and it often passes faster than people expect once you name it honestly, rather than pushing through it silently. If travel has been on your mind, even briefly, this is a meaningful moment to pay attention to. The ninth house energy from yesterday's full moon does not just favor big trips. It favors any real-world step that stretches your perspective: a class, a mentor conversation, a short trip, a new book that challenges an old assumption. Spiritually, this is a season for revising beliefs you have outgrown using facts and lived experience rather than clinging to comfort. Ask yourself the better question today, then actually sit with the answer instead of rushing past it. For color and timing, gray is considered supportive today, along with tones that feel calm rather than showy. The afternoon window between 4 and 6:30 carries favorable energy for important conversations. And symbolically, this whole week belongs to mirrors, updated photographs, and thresholds, small everyday images worth noticing if they show up around you. So if you are taking one thing from today, let it be this: speak the idea you have been sitting on, because the words carry real weight right now. Rest when your body asks for it instead of overriding it. Let one belief you have outgrown quietly update itself through something real, not just wishful thinking. And if you sense your reflection asking for something new, whether that is a title, a project, or simply how you show up, trust that instinct rather than talking yourself out of it. That is not impulsiveness, Gemini, that is timing. And if this kind of grounded, honest reading is useful to you, staying subscribed means you will not miss the next unfolding chapter of this story.